people think they can print their own checks, but it's actually dangerous.
Well, you need, because the ink for the numbers are magnetic ink.
Yes,
And you know,
fancy.
fancy.
So we actually have a microtoner printer and they're tough to buy.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to call the meeting of the Sullivan County IDA to order. Can I get roll call, please?
Yes, Mr. Siegel is absent, Ms. Lara,
Present.
Mr. Valone is absent, Mr. Smith,
Here.
and Mr. Gunther is absent. Mr. Brooks. Here. Mr. Steingart,
Present.
Mr. Perrella.
Here.
And Mr. Sykes is absent today.
Okay. So, can I, if there's no objection, can I get a motion to approve the meeting minutes of the October 2025 regular meeting and the November 3rd,
I
2025?
make the motion.
Ira, second by Scott, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Bills and communications.
So there were no changes made to this schedule of payments, so we have a total of 7 payments in the amount of $17,581.62.
Can I get a motion to approve that, please?
I'll make it.
Scott, second?
Second.
Joe, all in favor? Aye. Staff report.
I have no updates or changes to the staff report. Does anyone have questions?
Just since the check, I was looking at the checks, we should look, some of the UTAP money that we just received is going out.
Yes.
So everybody should know.
Yes, on the second page of the payment schedule is underemployment penalty portion of the 2025 YO1 pilot that's being distributed this week.
Tyra?
Yeah.
All right, moving right along. So first resolution is to extend the sales tax abatement period for the New York Forestburg One LLC project from December 1/25 through and including May 31, 26. Jen, you want to just give a quick explanation?
Sure. So this is an ongoing solar project in the town of Forestburg off Route 42. Their request indicated that they have just achieved mechanical completion, so they're waiting substation work to be complete. Probably by the end of this month to energize. So they have some last expenses. So this is in accordance with the project agreements. It's as expected for them to request this extension. And the request is for the typical 6
So
months.
going forward with these things he sold, because I'm sure there's been more.
Mhm.
Why are we giving these sales tax for? Then how many employees you have are the people that are installing it. Once it's installed.
The sales tax is for the material they buy.
You're saying, well, why give them
Why
the
give it?
benefit?
There's no employee factor after the fact.
Because it's given from the original pilot, it allowed it. The only reason we're doing this, first of all, to make sure that they keep up on their paperwork, that they're giving us what we need. And that was part of what they agreed to. And it takes long, you just don't build a project right away. So we typically, if they keep up with it, that we extend it for a reasonable amount of
You
time.
consider that stuff going forward.
Every
next time.
single one of them gets an extension
Yeah.
pretty much,
Right.
because nobody's right on time when they put them.
No, I don't mean, I mean, we
What
should give them no
Joey's
abatement at all.
There's no employees.
There's no
afterwards.
employees.
We're not hiring people. We're giving an abatement.
Right.
For material.
That's right.
What's the benefit to the county?
Correct.
I will say that for
It's
this
a deficit.
program, well, but yeah, the sales tax exemption certainly, but I will say that for this program, the pilot payments that these projects are making are generally in excess of what their taxes would be. They would get a 15-year exemption under a different section of the real property
Right.
tax law. But for the sort of security and predictability of a 20-year program, that's what their lenders want to see. That's kind of what they need in order to be able to get these projects built is 20 years, not 15 years. And that more appropriately corresponds to the life of the asset. So in exchange for that predictability, they're making a pilot payment in almost every case, I believe, that is greater than the tax would have been, the real property tax would have been. So it's a net win for the taxing jurisdictions.
Okay, we'll deal with it next time.
So can I get a motion?
I'll second.
Sean and Ira, all in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna know.
Okay, Joe.
We're starting now.
Okay,
All
so
right.
then that resolution.
You know, another
goes
2 years
down.
for election. What are you talking?
I don't care.
So then that resolution fails.
Okay.
Failed. Well, how did it fail? You got 3
You
years.
said-
We
You
need
said no?
4, yes, we need 5. We need everybody here to be in
You should
favor.
have the table for next month.
Would you prefer to
No,
All right, I'll say yes, now, since it was a job already done.
Because we're gonna go forward and maybe
We're gonna wait,
discuss these
okay.
before
Good
we do
decision.
them again. Okay,
Okay,
but you made your point, and I think that was
I
important.
hope, yeah, I hope everybody else listens.
Okay, on to the second resolution, suspending employment goals for projects undertaken pursuant to the agency's tourism industry uniform tax exemption, oh my gosh, exemption program and destination resort uniform tax exemption program for the employment periods impacting the pilot payments. Jen, I'll let you do that one too.
So this is, this is as discussed at our last meeting, the proposed resolution before you. It indicates that if adopted, projects that fall under our tourism industry or destination resort uniform tax exempt programs, who request a suspension of their employment goals, can have their employment goals suspended for the years that affect their 2026 and 2027 payments in lieu of tax, so a 2-year period. The idea is that across the board, tourism projects are having a hard time finding labor. So we have multiple projects who have reported an underemployment. They have not met their full-time employment goals for this calendar year, which means that they'll be assessed an underemployment penalty. What's that? Is that
Surprise nobody.
Right.
Right.
we discussed at the last meeting.
How are we gonna let them know? Are you just gonna send a letter?
So I'll draft a letter, and it will give them the option if they would like to, I'll send them a letter and the resolution, which outlines the fees associated with suspending the employment goals. And I'll do that by this week, I hope.
Okay.
So there are a couple things in the resolution that should we have a motion to discuss because there are a couple things to discuss in the
We need to
resolution.
discuss it a little more.
Yes,
Absolutely.
thank you, Jen, because I wouldn't know how to do that. So, yes. So can I get a motion to discuss this
Motion for
resolution?
discussion.
Joe, second? Sean, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
So there's just a couple things. So, the two things I have to ask are, there's a blank here. Should the board wish to adopt the resolution? There's a blank. Any project electing to request a suspension of employment goals must make a written request to the executive director by not later than the close of business on December blank 2025.
So I think that really goes on your workflow processes, more importantly.
Yeah, that'll fall on a case-by-case basis. This isn't just a blanket for anybody that wants it, automatically gets it. We
Right,
have to
that-
discuss it and decide whether we want to do that or not.
No, I think they have to request it.
And they will
Request it.
pay to request it.
Yeah,
There's a fee for it.
But why do we need a resolution for that? Don't they do that anyway?
This isn't something we've done before except during COVID. And so if the board adopts this resolution, then any of the projects that fall under those two programs have the right to request. And you're right, it's my understanding that they just need to make the request and then it's granted and there won't be another resolution.
Mhm.
What the board is saying here is that they've already agreed that any requesting project, and there are a handful of them, will be granted the suspension.
Automatically.
If they request it, because there's a fee, and so some may or may not request. There are very few that are on our radar right now as having not met their employment goal. We haven't collected all the employment forms for 2025 yet.
And so only one applicant had asked for it, but that's not right. Everybody should have the, opportunity because it is clear that they're across the board, the employment goals are not being met.
It's not unique to one of them. It's-
Right. But what you're suggesting is that we approve them? Or and Jen, so what if they request a number that's ridiculous, I guess? I sort of see where Scott's
Well,
going.
do we have the ability to say no is what I'm trying to say? Because what if it does come back as a ridiculous request? We're just gonna automatically grant it?
so there's not gonna be any number at all.
I see.
Right, it's just, you
It's,
don't,
and it's only for the 2-year period.
So there will be no
So-
underemployment penalties for 2 years. If they choose to.
If they ask for it. Now realistically, most of them are meeting the goals and are not gonna wanna pay the fees to change it
Yeah.
because they're meeting the goals. It's really gonna, the two or three that we're concerned about are the ones that are gonna be willing to pay the fees and they need it.
Yes, that is, okay. So that makes me feel a little bit better.
I explained that correctly,
Yeah.
Jen?
Yes, and just note also that so we have a total of 15 projects that fall under these two programs. Of them, 1, 2, 3 don't have, and 4 don't have an employment goal specified in their pilot. So
Okay.
they won't request anything.
So you got
1, 2,
11 left.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 have responded with their 2025 employment information, and they're meeting their goal. So there's no underemployment penalty that'll be added onto their pilots. And we haven't received 2, 4, 6.
And the fee for them to ask for to make the application was what?
It
It's a
depends on the
sliding
level of
scale.
employment, right? So that's, yeah, for projects with an employment goal of over 500, which is only the casino. So for the casino, the golf course and the Alder Hotel, those 3 together need to employ 1,050 people. It'd be at any of those 3 businesses. So they're the only one for whom the FTE goal is greater than 500, and the fee that IDA would charge for that request would be $10,000. So then it slides down, 201 to 5,000 or 500 employees is a $7,500 fee. 51 to 200 employees is 5,000, and under 50 employees is a $2,500.
Yeah.
And they obviously have to be in good standing. Right.
Yes, they have to cure any defaults and have, yes, not be in default of any of their agreements.
We know it's gonna be a couple, and hopefully it will help them, right? $10,000 is still far less than what their penalties would be,
Right.
so. So then, Jen, I would entertain a motion to approve the resolution as discussed, as presented, I mean. I need a motion. Oh, Sean, second.
I'll second.
Scott, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Lastly. We have a motion authorizing International Contractors Corp. And JAM2 LLC to reimburse expenses incurred by the agency in connection with the acquisition, construction, renovation, rehabilitation, installation, and equipping of the 2025 project. You want to just explain, Jen?
Sure. So this is a project that is a roofing, metal roofing panel fabrication facility and roofing contractor, and they're located at the Airport Industrial Park in Bethel. This company was in an IDA program starting in about 2014, and earlier this year they reached the term of their pilot agreement and lease agreement. They presented an application for a new set of IDA project documents because they are adding an addition to their building and making improvements to the existing building. So they asked for IDA assistance with that project. And back in August, the board approved the project with the usual pilot lease back. Excuse me, just the lease agreement on this one, because IDA actually owns the building and the land. So the usual set of IDA benefits. Then a couple weeks ago, we got a letter request from them that was in your agenda packet, requesting that the agency consider undertaking their project, which has a budget of about $450,000 to improve the building. And that the IDA would use IDA funds to undertake the project as a project expenditure. And that the rent that we charge on the building would increase by about $4,300 a month in exchange for that
Yeah.
IDA
Similar to the
expenditure.
first one we spoke about,
Right.
right? Similar to the
Yes.
first resolution.
Yes.
So they want you to pay
The-
for it and put it in the rent.
Right. So, Walter is not representing us on this project. Sean Griffin from Harris Beach put together the resolution that's before you today. I had hoped that he would be able to join us, but I know he's traveling today. So I see he's not on.
So who's doing the expansion on this building? They have bids on it?
Yes, I don't believe that they have, not certain that I know the name of the contractor.
Do we put out bids though, I'm saying, or you just got a price? of some-
We don't have to be involved in the
required.
procurement at all.
So they got a bid they got an estimate, and whatever they say is what we're paying? So how that's going?
Right, so
It's an
most
estimate.
likely it'll be a.
Pretty good deal.
Disbursement schedule.
Get your cake and eat it too at the same time.
Well, we get to keep the building obviously because it's ours and like I,
What I'm getting at it is that he went out, got his own estimate. And we don't know if it's a $300,000 job or a $450,000 job.
But the bottom line is, he's paying us back for it anyhow. You think he
That's
wants
not
to
how
pay
you look at
more?
it, though.
that makes sense because
He's,
the.
bottom line,
direct
he's
is going
paying
back
it.
To them.
Yeah, it's going back to
You're
them.
financing it. You're financing and getting your money back anyway. I mean,
Listen, if I was getting money from
a bank.
a
Go
bank,
ahead.
they would want to see the estimate.
And
They
estimate.
want to see who's doing the job, who's got the insurance. What if this guy's doing it himself? And what if this person's adding on 100,000 on top of the paid his bill and he's walking away with 100 grand? I mean, I don't know this guy from Adam.
Right.
I'm just looking at it. I mean, it's how this
There,
business works. I do construction,
I understand all that.
right?
I mean,
There you
yeah,
go.
I mean, I guess a copy of an estimate wouldn't be a bad,
Yeah.
they are reputable people, though. They've been there a long
Listen, I
time.
don't know who's building, they're gonna have proof of insurance, liability, workman's
Well,
comp,
that goes with
legitimate
that goes, all
company,
that's,
naming us on the paperwork.
that's, that I'm positive.
And that
goes
way,
without
somebody has to
saying.
oversee the job to make sure it gets done properly before we pay anybody. It's that simple.
It's a reasonable ask.
I
agree.
think that goes without saying.
Yep.
And we should get two prices.
At least see the estimate. What do we care how many prices they get?
That is true.
I tend to agree with Ira though, that it would be silly for him to try to get a kickback because he has to pay it back no matter what. And if he doesn't pay it back, he
Yes,
doesn't
I-
get to
the
keep
worst-
I'm
it.
not worried about
The
that.
worst
I'm not
thing
worried
he's
about that
doing
either.
is, the
The
worst thing is he's doing is, if you wanna play devil's advocate, the worst he's doing is coming to you for some cash flow problems.
Sure.
And financing it over a few years or whatever.
The only thing that did come out of it, we need to make sure whoever's building it, that's workers' comp and they're covered.
I believe
Because
that
we would
goes
be
without
included.
saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that's
Oh.
the only thing that to make sure.
I wouldn't be 100% that that's true, but. I
To make,
see a lot of
because
jobs without
we would
workers'
be brought into a lawsuit also. That's what the only, I'm not worried about the other with the money because they're paying it back.
I'm certain that any agreement that he signed with the IDA makes him insure and hold harmless and all that. I don't know, you know.
Right, all our agreements require all the usual forms of insurance that are required for whatever the business is, and,
Yeah, we have to be
we
named,
require.
because we're not named, they do an audit that we have to pay workers' comp for that person.
So we require that during construction on new construction projects, we require builder's risk until such time as the building is complete. So it would be all our usual insurance requirements.
So I would, and maybe Joe, you might even be able, so it sounds like the building is the addition is a 3,000 square foot addition. The cost of it, of being $415,000 doesn't seem that unusual because it's a commercial building, right?
It's probably what you call
The
it,
Butler building,
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
So that doesn't
Wholesale
seem
building.
that out of line, but
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm
No,
not.
that's,
I'm
no,
not-
it's 3,000 square foot, what is that, what's the size of that, divided, what?
It's like
$30
$130, $130 a square
30
foot.
by 100.
How do you build something for that?
However you come up with
Right.
3,000, it could be any.
Probably 130.
Yeah.
And some of that cost also is, I believe there's a new roof, a new apron, so there's costs to
To tie
improve
it
the
in.
existing
Sure.
building.
To tie it into the existing.
Right.
No, it's not a lot of
I
money.
It's
forget
really
that,
not.
I forget that fella's name, but they are decent.
They're
people.
reputable,
They've been
for
there
sure.
a long time, right? Is it Johan or
Yep,
something like
Johan,
this?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know him personally, but I know of him. And they're certainly reputable people.
They have,
Does a lot of
they have
work
an
for
excellent
Jeff.
reputation.
Yeah, they do a
that's
lot
for
of work
sure.
for Jeff.
And they've done projects with us before, and obviously were successful, and they didn't, we're not going into executive.
He's not a
session.
skimper kind of guy.
So. So Jen, I'm sorry, I didn't do a motion to discuss it. Did I need to do?
No, you did that.
Yeah,
Okay,
we can
okay.
do it. I didn't
I
write
thought
down a motion. I think we were, but we could do that.
So, sorry, a little backwards, because I'll need to do a motion to discuss it, the resolution. Sean and Scott, all in favor.
Aye.
All right, and then
that-
we
that
had our
covers the
discussion.
motion.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
That's, so then we just need a vote.
All right, so can I get a motion to approve the resolution?
Okay.
Scott and Sean, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then it just says, there's no public today. Do we have anything else to discuss, Jen?
Can we have a very brief, I promise, executive session to discuss the financial history of a particular corporation?
Yes.
Motion to go into executive.
Scott, second.
Second.
Joey, all in favor?
I.
Let us know when you're ready, Bethany.